Hello and welcome to Tell Me in Wrestling, the global podcast that uses ignorance and humour to fill the gaps between everyday life and professional wrestling. If you are new to the podcast, we are going to discuss. Oh, I'm going to
Carry
start.
on. Go on. Just carry on.
If you are new to the podcast, we are going to discuss a topic in conversation, and I am going to be told how it works in the world of wrestling. I am your chronically ignorant and chronically ill host, Phil, and I'm here with my tag team. Let me try to stand up. Please let me introduce just solo this week. It's Dan.
Oh, I know. I'm tagging myself. That sounds a bit weird, but hello, howdy doody.
not on YouTube,
chronic...
mate. That'll get us.
Exactly.
That'll get us a strike.
That'll get us. I mean, it's normally the audio, so I mean, I'm going to work my way through the different ways to strike. I've kind of jumped from playing copyright audio to
from
ranking on YouTube.
Can I just say, right, that was, I just looked at the time and it was about 1 minute and 10 seconds. And I just want to say it was neither me nor Carl, who's not even here.
I'm normally the one.
Yeah. You're stepping up this week, aren't you? You're taking a dual role.
I'm replacing Carl. There's a few ways that I'm replacing Carl.
Are you going to be editing yourself at various points? That's going to make a very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting episode.
Talking over myself.
Yeah. I might not even need to be here.
Yeah, just keep
be
talking.
A Dan solo vanity project.
There we go. That's what we're gonna get. The copyright, not the copyright strike. We're just gonna get the that Google YouTube strike again. A solo vanity project. That's what I'm gonna go for after we recorded.
Yeah, because Carl's not here because we obviously know that he got suspended by our new Lord and Savior Tony Khan.
Yeah. But despite the fact that Carl's not here, we still have a poem.
We do still have a poem. Yes,
we still have a poem. Let's we'll should we do it? Oh,
because we all had a go at it a few episodes ago, didn't we?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I cannot profess to saying I've had a go at this. I've done what
there was an attempt.
Oh no! Do you know what?
It wasn't even an attempt.
There wasn't an attempt. There was a. Do you know what? We should. In Carl's absence, we should still do a poem. Yeah. And I thought, what better way to do it is use ChatGPT again.
Yes.
So, and the I gave it a prompt, and the headline it's given it is "Arrogant Wrestling Podcast Host Poem."
Hold on a second, I'm the host. Is that what you're trying to? Surreptitiously tell me how I'm doing a bad job through poetry form? Is this the first poetry slam against someone on the podcast?
I'm kind of what is the phrase? It's a diss, isn't it? But I'm not really dissing him. I dissed him in the prompt, kind of.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't really dissing. It was just telling the ChatGPT.
Let's read the poem rather than describing what the poem's about, because we do that a lot.
In the world of wrestling, which is they've stolen my my intro from my.
World of wrestling.
In the world of wrestling, there's a host called Carl, a self-proclaimed poet. He thinks he's a star. He talks about wrestles with so much pride, but now he's suspended. It's time to hide. Carl's ego is bigger than the ring. He thinks he's the best at everything, but his words have finally come to bite, and now he's out of sight. Tony Khan, the new podcast owner, has suspended Carl like a wrestler's shoulder. His arrogance has cost him dear, and now he's nowhere near. Rumors have it he's on a cruise, sailing through Alaska, enjoying the views. But we don't know if this is true, or if he's just feeling blue. Maybe the suspension is a chance for Carl to take a break from his dance and reflect on his attitude and ways to come back stronger on his podcast days. So let's hope Carl learns from this plight and comes back to the wrestling world with might. But for now, he's on a break, sailing through Alaska's lakes. I mean, you could tell that was written down by...
Carl and Star was the first rhyme in that. I think it's safe to say
poet,
that
he thinks he's a star.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that we've got a little while before
ChatGPT
catches up with...
That's not too bad, considering it was just off of one prompt as well.
No,
so
that's true.
I gave it enough information for the first prompt, and I thought, do you know what? I kind of like the fact that you can tell that was written by AI.
It was for a first draft. It was all
first draft, yeah. So We're not going to be replacing Carl with anybody else trying to do it. Carl is the true poet laureate of wrestling.
Well, he can do a poem next time because aren't you getting a suspension as well?
I think I might be getting suspended. I don't know.
Yeah. I like the fact that the punishment for you both appears to be go on a nice holiday.
It's just take away. I don't know if I was going to be suspended. I can hear some rumblings. I might get attacked in the back, and
okay.
I might get sent off for a week's injury. We don't know. Who knows? You're gonna have to tune in until the end of the episode to find out how. Because it's not the ending. It's the journey.
It's all about
the destination.
Journey, yeah.
It's all about the journey. So, anyways, how are you? I mean, I know we've kind of chopped and changed. Carl's like, you've changed the bloody format of the episode.
We've gone back to we love doing
halcyon days of just
being... I was actually thinking, right, I feel it's very on brand for a wrestling podcast to not be able to just stick to one kind of format.
To one format, no, they change it.
Not really talk about wrestling very much. That is my view of wrestling.
100%. I mean, it's just happening in real wrestling right now. Like we set out the rules 1 week and then we change them up. WWE said that they've introduced a title and they said it was going to be on Raw and it was going to be challenged by Raw wrestlers. Then he came out this week, Triple H came out this week and said, oh yeah, SmackDown wrestlers can compete for this as well. So it's like they've done a whole draft and spent 2 or 3 weeks crafting this intricate storyline and then just gone, no, screw it. In the bin.
Well, I think we're the best representation of that, then.
Exactly. If we are not the WWE of the podcast world, then...
My God, we compare ourselves to some absolute legends.
Exactly.
We've compared ourselves to the two Ronnies at some point, British comedy legends. I can't remember how that happened. The Poet Laureate, one of a very prestigious title. And now WWE.
WWE. I mean, yeah, if self-proclaimed and we think he's a star, like, again, those words ring true for this podcast.
But bearing in mind that the analytics of the Emmy episode, which is the most recent one that has come out since we've recorded this, it came out yesterday, we're recording this the day after, had 5 views by the time we started.
Wow.
A heady 5.
That is big numbers that,
big
again, WWE
numbers.
Will be... Because Tony Khan's already bought us, so maybe Vinnie Mac's looking at rebuying.
Well, I've heard Carl's going to come back and he's going to have a little mustache and his hair's going to be dyed and slick backed.
I mean, you've said that now. If he doesn't come back looking like that, then there is a huge disappointment. He is. We don't know. Could he be cruising? We don't know. Let's find out. We're going to have to wait and find out. Speaking of the Emmy episode,
yeah, you can probably hear it in my voice. Like I'm quite bunged up. I've had a cold since like last October. It's one of the things that I didn't mention in the Emmy thing. Is that I'm immunocompromised. Like I don't have a very strong immune system at all. I think last time I got like numbers back on what the levels were like, it was a third of what it should be, and that had gone up.
Yeah.
Because of some of the shit that I got when I got Lyme disease. Apparently, I got 2 little bacterial infections. I say little; they've been pretty horrendous. They go around and trash my white blood cells, and that's your body's first defense against infection and stuff like that. And I don't really have that, so consequently, I get a cold, I get a chest infection, I get a sore throat, and it lasts for fucking ages. So it's a bit of a pain, but what can you do? It's not as bad as ME. One thing that I forgot to mention really in the episode is that one of the things I do to try and help combat pain levels and inflammation is I have these cold compress sleeves. I think I've spoken about them a little bit before. So if I have like a sore arm or whatever, I put them on there and it kind of calms it down for a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll play the little sting that we have, just to intro the little "It's All About Me" bit, because it's fun for us doing this, having little buttons to press. It makes us feel like we're actually professional.
An actual.
Let's see how loud this is, because we haven't tested this.
Nope,
could be deafening. I apologise to people with sensitivity issues.
No.
It's all about me. I feel fucking awful. Oh, hold on, I've lost the. I've lost my intro. Oh no, here it is. I clicked on the wrong tab. My chronic ignorance of wrestling is matched only by my chronic health. This is a window into my life, having a look at living with ME, CFS, and disability. So, Dan, I want you to hazard a guess as to how many times I had to use my cold therapy sleeves within the month of April.
Within the month of April.
2023. Yes.
So, did you count every time you took it off
Yep.
and then put it back on?
Every time I used one, I tallied it up on a little tally chart, and I'm gonna...
So there's 30 days in the month.
Yeah,
so
looks something like that.
Like that. Okay.
That's not this month, by the way, so we can't.
Yeah. So there's 30 days in the month. And how long do you leave it on, or how long are you recommended to leave it on for? See,
well, if they've been in the freezer, they probably about 20 minutes to half an hour by the time they have warmed up, because your body will then start transferring heat to that. It will start cooling down, and then it stops working. Yeah,
so 20 minutes.
So 20 minutes, I'd say.
So
I suppose it's a case of how many times do you think during a day that I go, I need to.
And how many do you have? Is it just one set? Is it once it's
not necessarily. Let's say my legs hurt, I might use the ones for my feet, my calves, and my knees.
Oh, so you're changing. So you counted each time you use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's what I mean. So like if you put them all on, that's one use, but it's not. It's actually, because then if I'd have gone, if you put it all on and then you take it off, then you have to then you're gonna have to factor in the time to. Cal's gonna be furious at the amount of time that I'm spending on this.
No. Well, I probably should have messaged him being like, "Do you want to guess?" But he's on different time zones and what have you. I don't know whether he'd get back to us. So I use them. I'm going to tell you where I wear them. So I use them on my calves.
Yeah.
On my elbows / arms.
Yeah.
On my feet, on my hands, on my head, and on my knees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So six different areas that I can target.
So immediately, if I times that by 6, that would be each one used per day. Yeah, that's counting it. You count each time. So every time you put your arms, your head on, that's one use. Okay, so that's at least 180. If that's that's putting them all on once a day, or putting each individual item on once.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily wear like one of each every day, because there might be an area that doesn't really need it. Like I don't really use my hands. I don't really use them on my hands that much in comparison to other places. So I'll try and steer slightly more in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. So
so let's see if we can work this out. How many times in April?
Too many. I've done five times a day on average, each individual one. But that's like 30 times a day. But yeah, 30 times a day is 900.
30 times a day.
But that's 30 individual ones, if you know what I mean. Like, I'll put my sleeves on, and then I'll put this on.
Yeah. So I am counting, like, if I put one on my knee, just one.
Yeah.
Usually I do, but like both at the same time. It's each individual one. So it wouldn't be like, I've done my knees, that counts as one. It would be, I've done my knees, that counts as 2, because I had to put 2 sleeves on. If that makes sense.
So 15 times, so 30 times 15, 450. 450 times 450 times over the month. Have I gone way too high?
Okay. I thought you were gonna just bear with me a second. I'm just gonna get the media up, because I really need to press this button. It's not quite that much.
Is it not? Oh wow. Okay. So maybe
I thought, yeah. So right. So how long did you say?
450 times over the course of the month.
450 times for 20 minutes a time.
Well, that's 15 times a day, but again, I maybe have broken it, but that's 15 individual ones. You put your wristband on once, you put your elbow on, so that's 2.
Yeah, okay.
That is 2.
All right. Well, it's you've gone slightly over. You've done what I do when I play Show Me the Money.
God, way too high.
Just gone way too high. So it was actually 190.
190.
So I used them 190 times. So that's about 6 and a bit times per day.
Yeah.
Because some days I don't need them at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we are recording this at it's currently 11:42 in the morning. I've already used 7 today, for example. I imagine I'll use them all again later on.
So yeah,
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
maths let me down that time.
After we've had a little break, after we've played the games, and before we do the main event, I'm gonna try and work out how many minutes that comes to, and see how long of my time Dan thinks.
I see
You're probably not that far off that I spend, in cold compress sleeves. Yeah. That'd be interesting. All right, okay.
Fair enough. Well, Rishi was right about something, that maths, we need to do better at maths.
Yeah, we do.
Although my maths was correct, I just kind of like...
to be fair, I thought you were going to get alarmingly close very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think I timed...
And then you...
If I hadn't have double counted, like when you put... I'm guessing you put your head and your wrists on, you count that as one time. I counted that... Okay. But I mean, if you do it at the same time... Is that two?
Yeah, it's not the number of times; it's the number of things I've put on.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, I must have overegged the pudding then. Well, I definitely have. But anyways,
you showed you're working, so you might get some.
And I
was
back. Very, very wrong. Well, hopefully, I'll get the next quiz right, because I've got to do some catching up, haven't I? So
yeah.
Well, should we play my little game?
Show me the money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dollar, dollar.
The world of wrestling is obsessed with money, from ironclad contracts to billion-dollar princesses, with money in the bank ladder matches and casino battle royals. As the $1 Million Man says, everyone's got a price. So this week, I want you to tell me, how much is the cheapest ticket for the AEW event All In London this August?
Now,
the cheapest ticket. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about this in the wrestling world recently. It's officially, as of yesterday, which is now the time of our recording.
Before you say anything, can I finish off the sentence, because I think I know the answer to this. On. It is the highest selling event outside of WWE.
Oh, he bloody knows his wrestling, doesn't he?
Because when I was scheduling our tweet that nobody reads about the episode going out, I logged into our Twitter account and I saw a few things. And I was like, that's pretty good.
Non-WWE event, yeah.
We all said it was going to be a success.
Yeah,
and it seems like we were right.
I think it was always. I think they knew. There's a lot of numbers that they have access to from UK and Europe. One of the funny things was there was a pre-sale, which I didn't even know about, for the tickets on Monday, which essentially it was a tiny window of an hour that was on Monday, and
a pre-sale,
VIP pre-sale as it was called, which the reality of it was that it was not really VIP, because you got the code if you had subscribed at some point or purchased anything from AEW's shop. So if you subscribed to the Fight TV app, which is where pre-ITV, and even today, really, if you want to watch their TV programming, which is broadcast on a Wednesday and on a Friday, if you want to watch that either live or as close to like straight away, you watch it on the Fight TV app, because it's ITV have the rights here in the UK. However, they broadcast. They broadcast the Wednesday show on a Friday, and the Friday show on, I think it's like on a Sunday, but it's like the Wednesday show is on a Friday night at like 11 p.m. But in the world of it, you already know what the news is. So people
if you're a fan, you know what's going on. You've been on the internet. You've already seen clips. You've been on the Reddit page.
Exactly.
You've heard everyone else's opinion. You're 2 days behind.
You're not going to sit and wait for 3 days to try and watch it. So they will. They'll watch Dynamite on the Fight TV app, and basically every AEW fan and their dogs got the AEW app, so the Fight TV app. So the VIP was not really that VIP, and also they sent it out. I got the link. I actually got it at 8 a.m. I only saw it at something like 5 to 10, so I had minutes to quickly get the tickets. And you're like, VIP was gone like straight away, and by then there was tens of thousands of tickets had already disappeared. And we knew from that moment.
Yeah.
And again, because
I must say, I'm not a massive fan of pre-sale stuff, because it feels
You've got to...
I can understand. It's there if they're like, oh, if you're a hardcore fan and you pay his extra stuff, but then there's people who are just like, well, I can't afford that, but I'd still like to. Certainly in disability, right? This is what I discovered because me and you are going to see something later on this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I need a disability ticket because you're coming as my carer essentially. But I was not allowed access. I had to ring a special hotline for a venue rather than go through a pre-sale thing.
Yeah.
So I instantly got excluded from that.
That's
which is,
it's
it
is one of
not
those
very
ones
nice.
where, this is on. Ticketmaster's a shit show to put it politely.
Oh
anyways.
God, yeah.
And the fact that we purchased a ticket for one price, and I was like, oh, that's not bad a price. And then by the time we actually got through 3 different levels of additional fees on the top of it, you're like, it was our budget that we were going to spend.
Where do you want to sit? Oh, that's an extra
no, that was
price.
the thing.
Oh, we're actually having to handle the booking itself. That's another.
That was one of the really
X amount per ticket.
Yeah, that was one of the really, really big frustrations that not just ourselves, but I saw on Twitter for this event. You couldn't choose where you wanted to sit. Even in this VIP one, you couldn't choose where you wanted to sit. It was a lottery. You selected from. We'll get to the point in the bottom price, the entry price up until the top price. You selected that, and then they went, and there you go. Do you want this ticket? I'm like, no, I don't.
So because I didn't buy any tickets, but you two went for them. So has essentially what's happened is you've gone, right, I would like a ticket,
Yes.
and it's gone, okay, so you want
the only one that we excluded ourselves from was the top end,
which were
extra
right
VIP,
down at the stage.
which was those were
the stage.
Yeah, right next to
the ring.
The ring, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll use proper wrestling terminology. Shall I?
Yeah. But that was you could click, but that one included. But in fact, sorry, ringside seats were still included in that first block. The second block was ringside seats, including take your seat, food delivery, and drinks as well, and a VIP experience on top of it.
To be fair, having drinks and food delivered to me is kind of just what happens to me now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's what I'd be getting if I was going anywhere. I don't go to the bar. I don't go pick shit up.
Yeah, the thing
I
is
only
now
have one hand if I'm walking with a game.
The thing is now, it might not be at Wembley yet, but I know that a lot, especially in America. But I know that Tottenham Stadium for events like this, there's an app because there's integrated Wi-Fi in the venue, and there's an app that you can have food and drink delivered to your seat. Anyways, like that's just a standard. But again, we just discounted ourselves from that very expensive bracket. But again, it never even threw us the expensive ones. It just said one area, one zone, and it just kept giving me the same zone. And we just kind of like, because I was concerned that we were going to miss out and end up getting thrown, because visually
it's a very sneaky way of making a lot of money, isn't it?
Visually, it's in the right zone that we wanted to sit in. We're just a little bit higher up than we wanted to. And if I kept refreshing, and I did one refresh, and it sent me to another corner, and I'm like, similar to where we were sat for WrestleMania a few years ago. And it's like, as good as that, we paid that because it was WrestleMania. It's a one-off experience.
Yeah.
This is one where it's like, this is VIP. Like, we're in there, we're getting these tickets now. I want to be able to sit where I want to sit. And it was like hard cam side. And it was like, we had to sort of
see. I've been my views on how much shit costs in wrestling has basically come from how much a WrestleMania ticket costs.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, oh, that's just how much everything costs across the board.
No.
I'm so bad at this game. So the we've talked about this a little bit in our group chat, that they were more reasonable than I was expecting for the lowest price.
Yeah.
So going on that, I'm going to say that the lowest price ticket was 30 quid.
I mean, I don't have the button, but
my spot on! I'll press it. Was that right?
That gling. There you go. Absolutely on the button. £30. Well, actually, including Ticketmaster.
Here's the reality of it. How much was a 30 quid ticket?
30 quid ticket would have probably been about £60, I reckon.
Fucking hell! It doubled in price.
No.
So you added 100%.
I reckon with all the booking fees, actually, maybe do you know what? Maybe I'd exaggerate that a little bit. It's maybe about 50 quid. But still, it was expensive. I know that when I worked it,
so much money.
I worked it out that we were paying between about £25 in additional fees, and we paid for the insurance as well. But I mean, the insurance just in case. And I think that's more just in case something happens because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
But then also, for me, if there's an opportunity to get better seats, I can they're easier to offload as well.
True.
But
At least you've got them.
yeah, but yeah, you're right with the. It's not very. Again, I think this is more on Ticketmaster. It's not very good for access tickets because
No.
that's the thing.
Like
There was no
feels
route.
quite.
There's no route to it
No.
whatsoever. And as I say, we went in and I had 90 seconds to make a decision on those tickets. There's no, right, okay, how do I add other things? And once you've committed to that, you can't then add things to it. It's just there's no access, and it's on you to then go above and beyond, and go round the tickets and go, right, okay, I want to have access tickets, please.
It's gonna be an interesting journey for me because I don't know when this one comes out because our scheduling is all over the place. It could well be that by the time people are listening to this, I have been to my first gig in like 4 years or something.
Yeah. I think this episode comes out the Friday of you going to that gig.
Yeah, on the 20.
Yeah, you're bank holiday, aren't you?
26th.
Yeah, 26th. This episode goes out on that.
If you are listening to this on the 26th, I'm off to my first gig in 4 years. I'm going to see the American punk band NoFX on the last tour, and unfortunately, you and Carl, who would be my first two people to ask, can't make it for a variety of reasons. So actually, my mum is coming.
Oh, really?
And I just want to say how much this means to me that my mum is coming along. So she does not know who NoFX are. She does not listen to any of the sort of music that I listen to, but she's away at the minute. She's on a solo camping holiday. I hope the weather's going to be all right for her. She got me to fucking hell. This is an endurance challenge. I had to teach her how to use Spotify, and that took an hour to get it on her phone and for her to understand it. But we got there. And then, like a few days later, she just started texting me like NoFX lyrics, like not like from like their popular songs either, from like some fairly obscure stuff from some of the albums, and then started talking to me about interviews like the lead singer has done.
Oh God, she's done a deep dive. She's done her research.
Yeah.
She's better than you really doing the research.
I'm really touched by that. Yeah, I'm really, really touched by that. Thank you, Mum.
Yeah,
love you lots.
Well done.
And I'm really excited. I'm really excited that she might have a better time than I will, because I might feel like shit the entire time.
Yeah, she might just be like, sorry, but I'm just going to have to get in that pit.
I'm sorry. Yeah, screw you. I'm going in the pit. And then I'll just see her get carried out, like stage diving and all sorts.
Amazing.
That would be, to be fair, if she did that, I would have such a newfound respect.
Yeah. Fair play to her. Fair play.
If she, I was going to say if she listens to this, she'll be listening to this probably after the fact that it's happened,
and we'll have to get an update on her.
Oh yeah, I'll give us an update. I'm going to try and get lots of videos and shit, and maybe put them all together, and we can watch them. At a later time.
Perfect.
Do you want a John Wiki?
Yeah, let's have a John Wiki.
Because Carl got one when you weren't here, so it's only fair that you get one when
we got
he's
two
not
while I wasn't here, technically. Because you did 2 episodes while I was away, so. Just the gritted teeth.
Maybe we can fashion a way where you get more points this one to bring it back level pegging.
In a slam dunk. Which this is the thing we've had the last few.
To be fair, you might do.
So yeah. However, I'm talking a big game now, and I'm probably not going to get this one. I mean, that's the. Oh no, actually, because there's no way that I can't get it, because even your last option is it sounds like shmash, and if I don't get it,
I think you will get this one
right
pretty quickly. Okay. Now before we go into this, because I imagine if you do get this one immediately and Carl isn't here, he's going to be being like, "What are you doing? You're giving him easy shit." I just want to say that I put down in order what I go through on the Wikipedia page. So if the first thing that's there is really, really blindingly obvious, that's not my fault. That's the fault of a free online encyclopedia.
Yes. And
he
can go fuck himself, because There was an episode where I was listening to it and I paused it and I texted you guys and said, I know the answer to this. The answer is this before it came up.
Yeah.
And you were like, don't matter. Da, 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 da. And I actually got it before Carl did.
And it's not. And if Carl texts us being like, "I've got the answer," no, he's not having the point.
Go
either.
for yourself.
That's
Carl.
not how it works. Yeah. All right, you ready? Okay. Clue number 1.
God.
I am about to switch brands within WWE.
Within WWE.
Within, yeah.
You're about to switch brands.
Don't know if this is big news or whether it applies to lots.
It applies
of
to lots of
wrestlers.
things.
Oh, good.
This is.
I was hoping it would
be.
It would get you in a place where you did that thing where you just go, oh no,
no, because obviously I'm going to get another clue which will narrow it down. But do you know in Wordle where you kind of like have a different word, so you can have like 5 different variations from that word?
Yeah,
I'm at that point now.
Which you cheat at, by the way.
I 100% don't. I didn't do the 3 days. The 3 days where I posted my 1x6. That wasn't me even cheating. That was just me copying and pasting and just being an asshole. But we have to do an episode on Wordle.
I put that down as Jesus. Like I was just being an arsehole. I wasn't.
No, because I didn't actually get the answer.
Difference.
I didn't even know what the answer was. I just copied and pasted and just tweaked the number.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll bring that up in another episode, I imagine. Yeah.
Right. So switching brands within WWE. Yeah. So it's either a wrestler or it's a title, and there's titles that are switching brands. But so.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That might be a bit of a giveaway. I mean, yeah, of course there are.
What's Nick? Just read the question out again.
just tell me the answer. I am about to switch brands within WWE.
Okay.
I think it's from Raw to SmackDown.
Oh, do you know what? There's that much that's been switching around between the draft. I can't even. Who's switching brands? Right. So who's the women's champion right now? Who's the Raw? Ooh. Is that my hurry up?
No, it's just an alarm on my phone that goes off.
That is hurry up, Dan, and give an answer. Do you know what? I'm going to say Asuka. No,
it is not. I didn't know whether you were going to get it on that one. Right, clue number 2. I have won 31 WWE championships.
Jesus. Oh God. Okay, 31.
So. Yeah, very successful, this person.
Who's won a lot and who's moving? Charlotte? No, Charlotte hasn't won that many. Is it a men's wrestler? The Miz?
It's not The Miz.
Shit,
I hope I've given it. I do have 11 clues, by the way. I'm hoping you're going to get them from this. Right, I made my clue 3. I made my pro debut in 1992.
1992. Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Who the friggin' hell is moving? Brands. Oh, well, hang on a minute. Read that again. I made my debut in 1992.
I made my pro debut.
Sorry, what was question number 2 again? 31. Question 2 was
I have won 31 WWE championships.
I've won. So it's a person then, because I was like, Intercontinental, but Intercontinental was introduced earlier than that.
Well, yeah, I'll let you know. We are heading down.
It's a human.
The line of a human being,
and made your debut in 1992. That's throwing a massive curve. That's
an old gimmer
who's still wrestling and is an old person and been and moving. That's a commentator then. But then no commentators have won that many titles. Jerry the King Lawler? He's won more. Do you know what? Jerry the King Lawler? No.
Not Jerry the King Lawler. Right. Clue 4. I was the first wrestler to win King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, and the Royal Rumble. I'm taking a lot of pleasure out of this.
Oh God, this is killing
me. Because when you find out who it is, I've got a little link.
Yeah, this is killing me now. This is killing me. The first wrestler to win the Royal Rumble. But how are they switching brands?
King of the Ring and Money in the Bank.
How do I not know that person who's switching brands? So King of the Ring.
I just want to say that because every now and again I'll read through an article and I'll get genuinely like, oh, this is so cool, this is so interesting. This person is probably is one of my favorites that I've done for this so far. I didn't get bored until it actually got to like just description after description of wrestling.
But why do I not know? Oh,
that got tedious. Should we time you out on this one?
Because it's annoying me.
I mean, you said we're going to do a tight 40 and we're 35 minutes.
This isn't. Yeah, this isn't. I'm not having this. Royal Rumble. See, it's who's won money? Oh, Ed.
I've got another
Edge. Fucking hell.
Do you know why I picked Edge this week? Because in the Getting to Know Dan episode,
he's my favorite wrestler. Yeah,
he's your favorite wrestler.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm embarrassed that it's taken me 4 to get there.
You should be. He's the first wrestler to win the Royal Rumble after being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which I thought was impressive.
That come in earlier. It's the 1992. Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's been around a while. I found
no,
this,
that one helped. As soon as I was going through King of the Ring, and then it's like it was. Oh, I don't think Carl would have got. So I wouldn't have got it on the first one. He may have got it on the second one, 31, but I think he might have gone with the Miz or somebody.
We'll find out when he comes back.
Yeah.
We'll ask
Carl,
him.
if you're listening to this,
how did you
I
do?
want you to be honest and text us when you get the answer. Like pause it and say, "I got it on this question." Reel off the other ones. I mean, see if...
When I was 17,
yeah,
I won an essay writing competition, which was free wrestling training.
Yes, I remember that. He talked about that at his...
and do you know what he did? Do you know what he did with this opportunity? He put it to one side so he could go and earn money to help support his mum, who brought him up alone.
Yeah, he talks very highly of his mum.
What an absolute gem of a person he seems to be. Although in his first televised match he legitimately injured someone. So, which I suppose it happens. What else did I like? He wrestled independently under the ring name Sexton Hardcastle.
Yes, that is
which amused me quite a lot. That's a good name. He took his name Edge from an Albany radio station because he's from Canada, friend.
Yeah. Do you know what I've just realised as well? Sorry, just to jump back, Carl's gonna fucking kill me because I answered Jerry Lawler for Made My Debut in 1992.
How old's Jerry Lawler?
He made his debut in like 1968 or something.
Fucking hell.
That's what happened. It's the panic.
Oh,
that's
the panic of playing a game. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, there's no one. I reckon. Yeah, I would never have given that answer if Carl was sat there.
Do you know what his entrance theme is?
Which one? Well, his newest one. It's he's back to his original. On this day, I see clearly.
Is that Metalingus?
Yes. Yeah.
Metalingus by Ultibridge. Now I didn't like when we went to wrestling like a few years ago, and I didn't know anything. One of the first things that really draws you in as a sort of a non-fan, I find, is the intro music.
100%.
And it's an absolute
banger. That is.
Really, really good. Really good.
A lot of people missed it at our wedding, but the band actually played an acoustic version of that. Yes, not many people, like about 2 people cottoned on. Carl never even, like, one of my mates came up to me and said, they're playing Edges, and I was knackered, because at that point, like, I was so tired on the table. Yeah. My mate came up and goes, have you got your band playing Edge's wrestling theme tune? And I was like, yeah, and they just played it as part of like a random acoustic set midway through the day, and I went outside and I'm like, yes. Perfect. And I asked him.
Were you like, yeah, he won an essay writing competition when he was 17. I don't know if you know.
But it was then I spent the rest of the night asking them, have you done like because they played like a hardcore, not a hardcore set, like a more dancier set.
Oh yeah, because
I kept asking them.
You then there was a period where you switched from very tired to very drunk.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I that was my compromise because I wanted. We had when they introduced the husband and the bride back to in the reception, we came out to Fleetwood Mac, the chain. That was the compromise, but I wanted to come out to a Metalingus. We did a wrestling.
I can see why that did not go ahead.
There, so. But yeah, right, Carl. As I say,
all right.
Let us know how you got on with that one. I am frustrated, embarrassed with my answer for my third one, but that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Well, it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
So our main event this week, we are looking at a news story. We haven't done that for quite a while. And it is the news story of a gentleman called, in quotes, Arthur Knight. Except he's not actually called Arthur Knight. He very much appears to be an American fugitive called Nicholas Alaverdian or Nicholas Rossi. Who...
Yeah. What's with his having two names as well? That's three names
he's got. I mean, that's not that uncommon if we're comparing it to wrestlers, are we?
Wrestlers, yeah.
So he is a very naughty boy who ran away from the United States because he had done some really
sorry, a very naughty boy.
It's how we're a British podcast. That's what we say about things. We always downplay things and just describe them in that manner.
Yes.
He's a real piece of shit. There we go. I've balanced it out. He's an absolute piece of shit.
There we go.
Probable rapist. I think domestic violence and fraud and all the really horrible crimes that a human being can do.
Yeah. So he's done horrible things.
And then he ran away to Scotland, I think, and he's taken on this new persona of Arthur Knight. Now, one of the interesting points from my perspective is that he is claiming that he has long COVID and goes around in a wheelchair and has a mask and an oxygen tank. Now, obviously, that creates an interesting atmosphere because you can't really go up to someone who's claiming to have a disability and go, "I don't think you're disabled," because that's a bit of a shitty thing to do. I mean, that's what I mean.
Hey, unless it's a PI, unless you work for PIP or the Paralympic Olympic Society.
In which case, you're like, no, you have to prove what's going on. You're like, well, this guy doesn't. So there's a very interesting video of him being interviewed by, I think is it American TV?
It's
US
TV. Yeah, US TV. Dateline. Of all
where
things.
They are, confronting him, basically just saying, "We don't think that you are who you say you are." He's been flagged up by, absolutely. I think, the FBI and Interpol, and they're like, "Oh, it's definitely him. It's definitely this guy."
Oh, 100%.
So we're gonna have we're gonna try and have a look at the video clip. We're obviously not gonna play the video because we get into trouble when we do that. So we're going to try and play the audio, and if you don't hear it, that hasn't worked, and we're just going to describe the video that we've seen, should we need to. So it's only a minute long, so you haven't got long to wait. Here we go. So we have Nicholas Rossi, who is wearing a very nice three-piece suit. He's got a shirt and a bow tie. He's got a little round, I'd probably say like academic glasses, sort of makes him... Because he claims he's a professor at the University of Glasgow throughout this whole time. And he sat with his wife. So there's a woman who's also involved behind the scenes in this. One can only assume that either she has been completely duped or she's in on the whole scam.
She's in on it as well.
Yeah. So this is the interview he gives, and he sounds what people tell me I sound like when they want to take the piss out of my accent.
I can't. Okay. I cannot hold it whenever I hear this. Yeah.
We were once a normal family, but thanks to the media, our lives have been interrupted. And we'd like privacy, and I would like to go back to being a normal husband. but I can't because I can't breathe. I can't walk. People say that's an act. Let me try to stand up. Let me try to stand up. Exactly.
So
What do
just
you
pause it a
say to-
second.
to-
Exactly.
Just pause it.
Exactly.
That was the moment where I was like, "Oh, this is bullshit. That's
Yes.
absolute bullshit."
It sounds
His voice
like
he has a weird accent. Fair enough. People don't always
wasn't
sound like
the original Darth Vader English. The guy in the suit was English.
yeah.
He sounds like what I imagine
he
what
was from
the
Bristol,
raw
apparently.
edits.
So Darth Vader
Yeah.
should have sounded like this.
That I just
Luke,
imagine
I am
like
your
when he-
father.
It just I can just imagine like there are rough cuts out there of the original audio from when he's ordering people around. The dreadful accent as well. I have no idea where that accent exists in the UK. He moves between.
So he's claimed that he's an Irish orphan. He's working he's working in Scotland, and he's obviously gone. So just generic English, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just crazy.
I just want because he does this weird bit where he stands up and he's like, "Oh, right."
I'll prove
So
Let me try to stand up. Let me try to stand up. Exactly.
What do you
exactly,
Exactly.
Right. So
that's the American like sound of exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I'm going to show you what it's like and how it sounds when a disabled person tries to stand up when they're not very good at it. Okay. And I'm not having a great day myself. I don't feel particularly good. I'm not gonna be as theatrical, I don't think, as that guy. But you never know. See what? I'll take my headphones off and then I'll stand up properly and I'm getting like
A full demonstration here.
So here we go. Using my stick as well, just to help me.
But you're up. You're up. You're not
I'm
now.
up. Yeah.
You're
I
not
got
then
up
going to
alright.
go. Well, wine work. Whoa! Catch me.
I didn't need to flail my arms around.
Flail around.
Yeah. So that was.
That was a thing.
If he hadn't done that, if he hadn't tried to show off how sick he
Disabled.
was, yeah, and apparently,
in inverted commas.
and apparently when he was in hospital, he was in hospital with COVID. He was apparently a piece of shit to the staff, and he was abusive and rude, and people were scared because of how he acted towards them. Now, the nursing profession will look after you pretty much no matter what.
No matter what.
Because it's their duty. And sometimes, like I've seen people on morphine who haven't got a fucking clue of what they're doing, and they accidentally, scream and shout and what have you. Well, this is not the case. This is a person who is quite clearly pretending to be someone else to avoid.
I don't know, like being taken away, and it's.
And
how was he caught in the end? Or how long has he been away?
I don't know because I don't know if he's actually necessarily been caught or whether this is still kind of just ongoing.
They're arguing that he is.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get him extradited, aren't they? Based on who they say that he is, and he's like, I am not. I am a man named Arthur Knight, which seems.
Now...
Can we just have a little drill down into the name? Because it seems like he's watched some Monty Python. He's learned a silly voice and a silly way to stand, taken a silly name, and been quite a silly person.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm getting big vibes of as well? I mean, another scummer human being. It was the Harvey Weinstein. Do you remember when he went in to be prosecuted?
Yeah, and they start playing
and
up
then
there.
He suddenly fell himself. It's kind of like the old. You'd never put away a frail old man, would you? And that's what he's kind of is reeling from that playbook, isn't he? Where it's just like, oh, I'm old, I'm ill, I can't.
Yeah, but... he's taking my shtick, and I'm not happy about that. There's only room for one miserable disabled person. Thank you very much. And I am not having this person take their title away from me because I am actually a genuinely nice person.
Yeah, it's wow.
Well, yeah.
There's skeletons.
There's a lot of editing that goes on in the show.
Definitely.
So how like you mentioned this because you were like, oh, I've got a perfect tell me in wrestling for this.
There's the perfect one, which, I mean, everyone knows the one guy who faked his death, and it was very, very.
Oh yeah,
sort of...
we should probably mention that this guy faked his own death in
Oh,
America.
sorry,
yeah,
yes.
we
that's
skipped over
the,
that. His family thought he died of leukemia.
Yeah. Again,
another level.
Absolutely.
Just another level that we need to bring in.
Yeah, we buried the lead.
Oh
there.
yeah. So how's
this guy? Yeah.
Go on.
So the most famous story of somebody faking their death, and it has a tinge of like ooh in it. Is of course our old boy Vinnie Mac.
Okay.
So he's
faked it. He has faked his own death
in one of the most spectacular ending segments to an episode of Raw ever.
When you say spectacular, do you mean a bit shit?
No, it was incredible.
Okay.
But then at the same time, you're like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? Basically, he gets into his limo. And the limo explodes, like proper, like, I mean, it cuts away like to a shot where it's just like he walks in this, and then it pulls out to it's typical WWE where it's like, we've got to frame this right, and it's like bang, slap bang in the middle, and then but the explosion's incredible. You're like, oh no, Vinnie Mac's dead. What's gonna happen now? We'll find out next week. This was peak Attitude Era, sort of like. The exit of Attitude Era into...
Sounds like it was a bit like in Wayne's World, where someone just turns to the camera and just go, oh, yes. We don't know what's going on here. Completely breaking the fourth wall.
That's pretty much, yeah. And it was one of those ones where you're like, tune in next week. And there was a long list of people who he'd kind of like pissed off so many people, and that was the journey, and the destination was this explosion. However... Oh, no, sorry, actually. So straight after it, they realized this was a bad story. And this is sorry, bad story. Well, they'd floated themselves on the stock market at the time. They were they just coming off the stock market. So they were in the stock market. This is how still it's a TV show.
Yeah. So before you go on, just a very quick question. Presumably, this is all done in kayfabe. He's not dead. We know he's not dead.
Yeah.
But when you're then trying to float your company on the stock market and you're pretending to be dead, that must be a bit weird for other people involved.
That's exactly what happened. Stock prices took a hit because some investors
supposedly the person in charge fucking died.
So what? But what he did in like the days after. He was like legitimately gone, disappeared off screen, like, and not so disappeared off screen, disappeared off the face of the earth. Like there was no reports, and this was still in the world of actually we'd long past kayfabe and everything, but there was still internet wasn't. Oh, there's Vince over there. Vince is in the office. He didn't go into the office. He didn't do this. However, so the stock price plummeted because people believed it actually died. The actual real reason why this completely sort of died on its ass was because like 3 days later Chris Benoit killed his entire family and himself.
Yeah.
So then the following episode of Raw, he was supposed to be that was supposed to be the Raw, the Raw going into the pay-per-view on that Sunday. Chris Benoit never turned up to that pay-per-view. Obviously. And then obviously they found out the news over the Sunday night. So then the Monday on the Raw, they were like, Vince, you're gonna have to come back, and they went, obviously that was fake, but this is real.
Oh God, yeah, because fuck. So you've then got two stories of someone being killed and someone killing themselves. Real life and
another person being killed. And it was like Vince was like, right, okay, that's that didn't happen, right? Bang, da. And they dropped that like a lead balloon. But the Raw episode was a tribute to Chris Benoit. They were still unsure as to what he had done. That episode is no longer. It's not available on the network. You can find it on like YouTube and on Daily Motion and other places.
I mean,
that
they
you
jumped
can
the
find
shark a
that
little bit. They
But-
should probably have spent a tiny bit of time to not
Well, they should have
praise
waited
him,
to find
before
out
they
exactly
find out
what
what
happened.
happens.
Yeah. So that episode has been like expunged, and that sort of time period is like, but yeah, Vince McMahon, killing himself. Well, not killing himself, but yeah, a fake death. That's the number one. The number one in the in my mind. I do have a second one, which is a little bit less well known, but this is more. I love it because it's carny wrestling. It's just so carny wrestling. So we've spoken in the past about the Fabulous Ones. I think we mentioned them in tag teams, and I gave them an honorable mention as
a name that
somebody that and they were the ones to popularize the pretty boy look, and they drove this era in the 80s where it was MTV generation, where it was music videos, and they created a lot of music videos. And I pushed onto the socials. One of the episodes, Stan Lane is one of the Fabulous Ones. He was also part of the Midnight Express, one of the multiple members of the Midnight Express at one point, and one half of the Heavenly Bodies as well. Right. Stan Lane is very much alive.
Right.
However, in 1983, there was a guy called Sam Tyser.
Pre Chili and Miners, by the way. We haven't said that for quite a while.
Exactly. Yeah. How many years pre Chili and Miners?
God, I genuinely don't know.
There we go.
I'm not even sure we mentioned
I think
the
it's
fucking
20,
date of when it happened in that episode. We went off.
I think it's 22, 23 years pre-PCM. PCM.
Pre-CM. Okay.
Yes. So, in 1983, a guy called Samuel Tyser married a woman, obviously, and the woman he married,
obviously, Daniel, in 2023. I suppose that wasn't.
Exactly.
This wasn't. No, never mind.
No, this was in 1983.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
However, right. So he told this woman that he used to wrestle as Stan Lane.
Okay.
And he had retired from wrestling. So he lied to this woman,
saying, "I am this wrestler guy.
I'm this wrestler, Stan Lane." And again, he will have probably used stuff from the Fabulous Ones era and stuff. And the weird thing about this is, 1983, Stan Lane was still pretty bloody popular. Like the Fabulous Ones, the Midnight Express were huge at one point, and he was still a wrestler right the way through. Well, for many years. So it's like the equivalent of saying, "Oh, I'm Tom Cruise," and my wife are buying it and going,
"Yeah, definitely, that's definitely Tom Cruise." Yeah.
Or maybe more closely. All right, Tyson Fury. I'm Tyson Fury.
You're a bit. You're too tall for Tom Cruise.
I'm too good looking for Tyson Fury. I'm too tall for Tom Cruise. But she believed it. For I'll do the maths here. Almost 40 years, 38 years. She believed it. So then in 2011, Samuel Tyser died.
And he's the guy who claimed he was
Stan Lane. Yeah. So she sent out an obituary mentioning Stan Lane, former wrestler, had died. Put out an obituary.
Oh, so it's going to be one of those occasions where someone who is alive has read that they've died
and gone, "I'm not dead." So he had to go out. I'm not dead, right? But a family knew that this was a lie. Like members of her family knew that he was not Stan Lane. Never was, never had been.
And she, presumably, they at some point they'll have said to her, like, your husband's not.
No, they didn't say anything. They just continued this ruse. Just let. And again, I don't know too much about it, but I'm going to assume it maybe was a white lie that became he maybe mentioned it as a white lie to try to sort of impress her during the early days of the relationship, but then just continue it on, and maybe he's gone. Shh. However, right, so her family knew this was a lie. But when he died, they then set up a table of Stan Lane merchandise at the his funeral to make some quick cash, because wrestling fans, turned up to Samuel Tyser's or Stan Lane's funeral thinking it was the Stan Lane, the wrestler, because her wife had just believed it, and the family knew that this was a lie, and they were like, "Oh, we'll make some Stan Lane merchandise," and they set up a merchandise stand at his funeral.
Fucking wrestling, of course, that's what happens. Like no matter what, everything is an opportunity to make some money.
Exactly. So again, not really a fake death, but then it's kind of like scumminess off of somebody's bullshitting of a fake identity and lies and deaths. And yes, that one tickled my fancy when I read about that one. I'm like, oh, do you know what? That's brilliant.
Do you know what?
That's peak carny wrestling.
But
again, not a wrestler. The actual wrestler had nothing to do with this whatsoever. This is just a guy bullshitting. But he still exists within his carny. They through osmosis, they were like, "Oh, we'll set up a merch table at his funeral," because that's what a wrestler would probably do. Yeah. Like,
sorry for your loss. Brilliant. Would you like a T-shirt?
Yes, the commemorative. Yes, thank you very much. All proceeds will go to our beer fund.
Yeah. What would you do if, like, me and Carl sat you down one day and it was like, we've got some news that we need to share with you. Heather is not. Heather's not who she says she is. You've actually married the actor Tom Cruise.
I feel like
in his most in-depth performative role.
In-depth performance of all time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, who's starring in Mission Impossible 7? Oh, that's the actual Heather. They switched roles.
They did it. Oh, so we've done a Freaky Friday. Rather than
no. Tom Cruise is he basically, he met Heather when she. Oh, this is going to sound really weird. When she was 18 and gone, let's switch roles.
Yeah,
I'll become you. You become me. She has to shrink a few inches. He has to grow a few inches.
She really doesn't want to be on the podcast, and I just keep bringing her up. Sorry, Heather.
Yeah. So she won't listen to this.
No,
say what I want.
That's true. What else was I going to say? Oh fuck yeah! So. You know how you were like, oh yeah, it's VKM. Do you think, like, when he storms into the ring during that match that we've talked about, he pulls his hamstrings,
pulls his groins.
Do you think when he's down there, he was shouting, "Well, just watch me try and stand up. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And with his new persona of like I said, of being a
wrong un.
Yeah, of being a
Let's put that politely.
No. I was going to say sort of the spivvy sort of look he's gone for now with his.
Sorry, I thought you meant to do with the sexual misconduct.
No. Well, that as well. I feel like if he said, "Oh yeah, my name's Arthur Knight," now people would just go, "Yeah, all right."
You believe it? Yeah, he looks like an Arthur Knight as well, doesn't he? With the little. Yeah.
Arthur's got his little market stall where you could buy briefcases that you can't get into because the codes are all locked inside. That's it. Exactly. Is that why we keep making Only Fools and Horse references on this podcast? I didn't realize that was.
It's for the Colombians that
the big.
They love
Rodders, don't they?
Exactly, Dave. Oh right.
Is that us done with,
are we tapping out without having saying the actual? That's it from your favorite wrestling podcast.
Oh, are you sorry.
I'm not even gonna,
you're not going to say that you're from Hull. Hold on. Right, let's do this. Let's do this again. I'll do the Carl bit. You do your bit, and I'll do my bit. And that should probably work a bit better because we just got very confused then. Professional podcasters here, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Carl's furious right now.
Oh well.
Again, I think what's
different to normal that Carl's furious? He's furious in Canada somewhere, getting burnt.
Yes. Looking at polar bears.
Yeah.
While being suspended.
Yes, he is suspended because he is also being.
Oh yeah, speaking of, by the way. Oh no.
Oh.
I'm being suspended.
Oh.
Carl's gonna be fucking furious with that one as well.
So that's it from your favourite wrestling podcast.
With a suspended guy from Hull.
But for this week, we are all. Sorry for your loss. Would you like a T-shirt?